Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 83 of the Video Games Ahoy Podcast! A woo, a hoo. I'm your host, Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's Davy, Game Pass G!
Game Pass.
How are you, Davy G?
Oh, Game Pass.
I just want to say hello to some people in chat as well. I don't know what we've got ACP there already waiting. We've got Full House 159. Hey Jonny. I some of my friends are in chat. I don't know what their names are. We've also got Hayden K. Yay. I believe I pronounced that right. But hello everyone.
Hey.
Hello. Another week, another episode of the VGA.
Yeah, no real big news this week, is there, Jonny?
Well, there is something pretty big. I haven't played Banjo-Kazooie yet. Haven't had a chance.
Switch Online.
It does feel pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we'll get onto that. We'll talk about the podcast first. Actually, do you know what? We're going to pause that.
Ooh.
How are you, Dav?
Oh, good, thank you. Very well.
Yeah.
Feeling good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm a tired boy today. Pausing already.
I'm a tired boy as well.
ACP, you know us. We like to take our time at the start. We like to go off in different directions. I think last week it took us 10 minutes to get onto the news.
How's everyone in chat doing as well?
Yeah, exactly. Stick around. Check us some messages. We will try our best to answer. But yeah, we'll talk about the podcast because I'm a tired boy. You're a tired boy, but we're good. If you are watching us for the first time, like I know some people are, then hello, we have Video Games Ahoy. If you are back, like ACP, who's here every week, and I say this all the time. In fact, I was showing these off in work. These are made by ACP, so she's in the chat. And look, see? The blue one. Zach has the red one. Is it the red one Zach has? I can't remember what colour Zach has. Yes, and so does Dav Weeks. Neither can be here because they're busy boys. But they will hopefully be here. I think Zach will be here next week, and maybe Dav Weeks will be here the week after. Red is sus, remember. That is true. That is absolutely true. Although I've never played Among Us. I only know that because of you, Dav.
Oh, so much fun.
I remember you used to play it all the time, but I never got around to playing it. Never got around. But I heard good things.
Played with Zach a few times, actually.
Yeah, I remember. You played with guys from all over the world, which is so cool.
Played with Chicken Patty.
Oh yeah, you did. Chickpea. Crazy.
That's how we first met.
That is mad. Was that like a year ago now?
Yeah, at least.
Crazy. Anyway, we've already gone off on a tangent. We have Video Games Ahoy. We're on all different kinds of platforms. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio. We heart radio.
Speaking of Spotify, get your ratings out there. 5-star ratings.
Yes.
Doing ratings on podcasts.
Please do.
And it really does help with visibility.
Yes, we've had a couple of 5-star ratings, which is lovely. I don't know who did them. Maybe my mum. Maybe my mum. Maybe she did a couple.
Like 8 different Spotify accounts.
It's just commitment. To the cause. But yeah. So if you could check us a few likes or a few comments, that really help us. Because it's just nice. We just like to chat games, and that's pretty much it. What else? Dav, I am very aware that we have not done a Hall of Fame episode in a while. It's been a while. We've all been busy boys, so maybe we'll do a Hall of Fame soon. They're always controversial, and I love that. That's my favourite part.
The other Dav is back in a couple of weeks.
He is.
It's a couple of Dav weeks.
Hey!
And then, I think we should get cracking on some stuff. And then hopefully by then, I'll have finished Halo Infinite, and we can talk about that in depth as well.
Oh, yeah, man. How far into it are you now?
Oh, I've not touched it, but I will touch it as soon as I finally finish Horizon Zero Dawn, which I'll talk about later.
Okay, cool. Let's leave it there then. But yeah, like I said, check out all our places. We're all over the place. If you want to see our faces, then YouTube. That's your go-to. I think last week Zach showed off some leg. So if you want to see some leg, Zach Hamilton last week showed it all. Check out that. All over on YouTube. Right, let's get to the big story.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to make a joke about Banjo-Kazooie being the big news story. I've already made it, so let's just get straight into it.
Tick,
done.
Next week.
Exactly. Xbox has bought Activision Blizzard.
Mad.
What the hell?
And not for much either, was it?
No.
What, 68.7 billion?
Yeah, it's... Do you know what puts it all into perspective? Do you remember when they bought Bethesda or ZeniMax?
7.5.
Yeah, and we were like, oh my god, 7.5 billion. That's so much money. How can people afford this? And it's like, no, we're just gonna do 10 times that. And
bonkers.
It is ridiculous. I mean, there's so much to talk about. We're probably going to talk about this for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you don't like talking about business news, probably best to just listen anyway and enjoy it. Because we'll try to make it hilarious.
Just try and work out what's in the background of our thing.
Yes.
Try and see if you can see what those 3DS games are.
I've got nothing in my background really, other than COVID tests and a pass to park on my back garden. That's all I got.
Oh, there is something.
There. I mean, that is pretty useful. To be fair,
over what I imagine is your right shoulder. The other one,
this way.
Yeah, you can just get a little peek of an Xbox.
Oh no, this is the thing now. Wait, okay.
What are we doing?
There it is. That's my PS5.
Hey.
My Xbox is over there. It's behind the other side of my TV because my TV's. I'm not bragging, but it's very big and it takes up all of the space. Just saying.
It's not the size of the screen, it's the Motionblur.
Yes, the motion. Just writing that down.
So Xbox own OG.
Motionblur of the Oceanblur it is. Jesus Christ. Yes. Now let me. I'll just do the chat. Yeah. We can either talk about this as one big topic, or we can break it down into smaller chunks. How would you like to do it? Should we
break it down?
Let's break it down, baby. Okay, so Xbox parent Microsoft has confirmed its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It's the game industry's biggest deal ever. It's really funny when like previously we've all been like, they could never afford Sega. It's like, I mean, they can afford anyone, it seems. The acquisition, which Microsoft confirmed will cost $95 per share in an all-cash transaction valued at $68.7 billion, means that Xbox now has exclusive ownership of Call of Duty, Warcraft.
Cash.
Yeah,
just like briefcase after briefcase.
Yeah, could you imagine? Could you imagine if it was like cents as well?
Like trucks just open the back and
just dished it out.
Out.
That'd be pretty funny. Call of Duty, Warcraft, Overwatch, Crash Bandicoot, Guitar Hero, and more, which we'll get onto in a little bit.
Spyro, StarCraft, Tony Hawk.
I've got a list. I'm going to go through the list. Okay, Here we go. This is the list. Here we go. Blur, Caesar, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Crash Bandicoot, Diablo, DJ Hero, Empire Earth, Gabriel Knight, Geometry Wars, Guitar Hero, Gun, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Hexen, Interstate 76, King's Quest, Laura Bow Mysteries, The Lost Vikings, Overwatch, Phantasmagoria, that's a game, Pitfall, Police Quest, Prototype, Quest for Glory, Singularity, Skylanders, Soldier of Fortune, Space Quest, Spyro the Dragon, StarCraft, Tenchu, Legacy Games, Time Shift, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, True Crime, World of Warcraft, and of course, Zork.
Yo, tell you what, Tony Hawk.
I know, man.
Really great. But what was one of the last ones you just said then?
I mean, there was a lot.
Go from Tony Hawk.
Tenchu, Time Shift, Tony Hawk's True Crime, World of Warcraft.
True Crime Streets of LA. Such a good game.
Did someone break Jonny? I mean, I've always felt pretty broken. I feel like Dav pieces me together on a week-by-week basis. And then
the glue that we put in your cracks.
Yeah, you fill my cracks. And when my cracks are not filled, I just break apart. That's kind of what happens. But yeah, those are all the IPs. That is the full list of IPs they're going to own.
You know what? About that, what's interesting is that I think it was a year ago, maybe a little longer, Phil Spencer was asked, what do you wish Game Pass had that it doesn't have? And he said, family games.
He did say family games.
The family games targeted towards maybe a younger audience and sort of a party vibe. And actually, you look through a lot of Activision's IPs that they own, and a lot of it screams out party and family games.
Yep.
You've got your Crash, your Spyro, your King's Quest, your Guitar Hero. I'd be mad if they brought that back. But
they're definitely going to bring it back.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, this is the thing. I've actually got a quote from Philly. He said, I was looking at this is me doing an impression of Phil Spencer as me. I was looking at the IP list. I mean, let's go, Spencer said. King's Quest, Guitar Hero. I should know this, but I think they got Hexen.
I love that.
I love that as well. I don't know what they've got.
We just spent 69 billion. I'm pretty sure they have Hexen. I hope they do, otherwise I want a refund.
According to the publication, Spencer said the Xbox team will talk with developers about working on a variety of franchises from the Activision Blizzard vaults. We're hoping that we'll be able to work with them when the deal closes to make sure we have resources to work on franchises that I love from my childhood. What I love about this is that basically Phil Spencer has gone, I want another Hexen game, so I'm going to spend 70 billion to make sure that happens.
And then pretend that I'm not sure if they have Hexen.
Yeah, so it's just like, I guess.
But what's great about what you've just said there, about him... about them looking at the different studios within Activision Blizzard and seeing what to create with them.
Yeah.
Is that Toys for Bob don't have to make Call of Duty anymore.
Well, so I will, like, I guess at this point I can start, like, phrasing it in a way where, like, I am completely conflicted. I'll talk about why I think it's the best thing to happen, and then maybe we'll talk about why it might not be the best thing. But the best thing, I mean, first things first, the people working at Activision will now not have a insane, awful person in charge of them. Like,
and they're gonna clear house.
Yeah, he's got, like, Bobby Kotick has pretty much been told that he's going to be gone as soon as this goes through, which, I mean, maybe it might be a couple of months, maybe, who knows what he's going to try and do in that time, but he's going to be gone, and he is a proper scumbag, which is...
He is a sociopath.
Yeah, he's a terrible, terrible person. So the people working at Activision can actually have, I don't know, they can breathe a sigh of relief in that sense, because there was no, I couldn't see how he was going to go otherwise. Yeah,
absolutely. I don't think he was going to go otherwise.
Yeah.
And the Xbox showed a picture of their the heads of Xbox. I think it was Phil Spencer at the top, obviously, and then I think it was 10 underneath.
Yeah.
And all you saw was diversity, right? I mean, everyone was cisgendered, but apart from that, you saw so much diversity there. Both from heritage to and gender, and that's something that they're clearly proud of. And you look at sort of Bonnie Ross, who's in charge of Halo, and you've got a lot of people up there, and it's something you don't see with a lot of first-party studios.
No,
Nintendo are notorious for gender equality. You look at Sony; very few Sony studios have women at or near the top of the studios. Like, you hear about all the big names. You've got like Shuhei Yoshida, you have people like Cory Barlog, who are great people, but like you only really hear about the dudes.
Yeah.
And so, like, if anyone's going to buy Activision Blizzard, I mean, only Xbox could really afford them, but if anyone was going to do it, at least you were talking about a company that cares about its employees. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there are loads of benefits to this. I mean, for another thing, I actually think it's going to benefit the franchises themselves. So Call of Duty, like Phil Spencer's already said, you will not have to make one of these every single year. You can actually take your time with the game. Like, that is the thing. As soon as Call of Duty became that sort of year-by-year franchise, that's when the quality started dipping. I mean,
and they had to keep plowing studios on top of it, to make sure they could keep up. Like, you started off with just 2. It was Infinity Ward and I want to say Sledgehammer.
I don't think it was Infinity Ward was definitely one of them.
Maybe Raven then. Either way, you had Infinity Ward and then another one.
Yeah.
And then you added Sledgehammer or Raven. Then you added Raven or Sledgehammer. And you've now got 4 main studios making Call of Duties, 2 of them combined together.
Yeah.
And then you've got Toys for Bob thrown in. You've got 2 other studios that they have thrown in. You get Vicarious Visions, who just made an incredible Tony Hawk's game, and slap them into Blizzard.
Well, and you're right. And like you mentioned earlier yourself, like Toys for Bob were the big one. They can actually go, because they made an incredible Crash Bandicoot game, and then they were told,
Banjo.
Give them Banjo. Not even Banjo. Like, let them make a new Spyro game. Let them make a new Crash game. Let them make something that they're clearly very good at, and not forcing them to make something where, like, if these people wanted to make first-person shooter games, they want to go and work, like, apply for those jobs, I imagine. I'm not saying it's that easy, and obviously I know it's more complicated than that, but, like, if they wanted to work on a first-person shooter game, they would be applying for the jobs that are available, whereas it feels really sad. Well, it was really sad when Toys for Bob were like, yeah, you've made a great platformer game, there's not many of those, but, we're shutting you down, and you're going to go and all just work on this mammoth thing, which
Yeah,
is just going to keep going every year.
And they've got a track record for this, Xbox. You know, Playground were like, we don't want to make a racer or just a racer. They're like, okay, you want to know our RPG? Have Fable. And so the guys behind Forza Horizon are now making Fable.
Yep.
And still pumping out incredible Forza Horizon games. Like, they're clearly showing that they can show faith and believe in a vision of a studio and see it pay off in dividends. Now, obviously, we don't know what Fable's going to look like, but we know what Forza Horizon 5 looked like. And if those guys can put the same amount of polish and accessibility as well, and storytelling, Forza Horizon 5 is quite, they really are improving with storytelling in those games. Like, that Fable's going to be a great game. And you see studios like Obsidian. Yeah. They're like, we want to make a sequel to Outer Worlds. And Microsoft are like, yes, please. And they're also making Avowed, and they're making Grounded. And another one as well, I think they've announced. And then you look at the Bethesda studios.
I think Redfall as well.
Redfall. Yeah, with Arcane making good. Redfall. And you're just seeing studios making what they want to make. And that all is great for Xbox because what they want is diverse portfolio on Game Pass. Yeah. And which is why I think those family games, obviously Call of Duty, obviously Warcraft, all the rest of them are the big money. That's what makes it cost so much, right? And they obviously want those things. But to have those family games and to have those mascots, Crash Bandicoot is now an Xbox mascot.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? But that is the thing. Like, there's a big shout that, like, one of the reasons why I bought them was, like you said, as much for the mascots and as much as for those family characters than Call of Duty, because there is a market for them to tap into that they don't really have anyone for, and now they do. They have two of Sony's original ones, and I think this is actually a good point to move on to Sony. So it's a real interesting thing because I have all three consoles. I have a decent PC. I'm not limited to what I can play, so I don't have any issues whatsoever. It really makes no difference to me. It does make a difference to Sony, and I guess we can talk about like that in a little bit. But personally, Sony shares actually fell 13% following the news of the takeover, which is insane.
Meanwhile,
13%.
Yeah, that is huge.
That is ridiculous.
And but we saw EA, Ubisoft, and Take-Two all increase, and others increase.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, great, one competitor's going to be off the market.
Yeah.
13% is mad. I think it is temporary, and I think as soon as Horizon hits the shelves, people are going to be like, oh, no. Sony is still the home of some brilliant first-party games and well received. Critically acclaimed, and great selling games. I don't think Sony really need to be that worried. They will be maybe when we see what happens, but actually this might bring on to a further point that Phil Spencer has been renamed as the CEO of Microsoft Gaming.
If that's the Ruben I think it is, how are you, Rubes?
Welcome in, Rubes. Phil Spencer is now the CEO of Microsoft Gaming and not the head of Xbox.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to mean a division of Xbox and Game Pass.
Yeah. I
think we're going to see Game Pass on everything now. Like we see Windows.
Yeah, I mean there was a big shout in the online the other day where basically a lot of people are saying this could mean, a Game Pass on PlayStation. This could mean Game Pass on... I'm not saying it will go on Nintendo. We've spoken about Nintendo on how secretive and private they are with lots of things. But, one thing he did... So the one thing I want to get onto with regards to Sony in particular and staying on Game Pass and all those things is that Phil Spencer did say that Call of Duty... So there's a very specific tweet. I'm going to read out the tweet because I think the language is very important. Okay, so he said, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honour all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and a desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of the industry and we value our relationship. Now, that to me, like the first thing that sticks out is existing agreements. I do think, weirdly, I kind of feel the opposite to when Bethesda happened. When Bethesda happened, I was like, they're not going to stop. They want to make money. But I think this if they stick to those lines, what are the odds that Warzone will stay on PlayStation consoles, but
Yeah.
the actual mainline games will be Xbox exclusive on Game Pass day one. That to me feels like something that could happen. Again, I don't play Call of Duty, so realistically, the Activision, and also I have an Xbox, so it doesn't really matter. But like, that is one of the interesting things. I guess at the same time, Call of Duty is predominantly sells on the PlayStation, which is, are they going to want to lose that money? Are they going to want to lose that every single year or every 2 years, however they do it?
For sure. I think what we're going to see is obviously Warzone's going to stay in the same way as Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online have stayed on multiple platforms.
Right there. I got to sort my posture out. I've just been told off, so I was just playing in the chair. There we go.
I think we're going to see ongoing games like Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online. I think we're going to see Warzone staying around. Obviously, Warcraft's going to stay on PC.
Yep.
I mean, when that hits Game Pass, that's going to be like monumental.
Oh yeah, huge.
The numbers are going to rocket up, and we're going to see what comes out of World of Warcraft. I think that's a really interesting IP. But back to the point about Call of Duty on PlayStation.
That is the big one. It feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that one is the big one.
I do think that it's going to be a case of Xbox being like, it's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass on PlayStation, then you get Call of Duties. You get all the new Call of Duties. And, you know, what we're arguing about, we're giving you the option to have Call of Duty. You just need to take Game Pass.
Yeah.
And, you know, Sony are very rigid and very stingy when it comes to third parties and things like crossplay, right?
Well, they're the worst ones. Like you said, they're the worst ones for crossplay. They don't like it.
And I remember we were talking about the revenues that they have to give Sony if a game wants to be on crossplay. Like, Sony stands to make a lot of money from Game Pass being on PlayStation and from Call of Duty being on PlayStation and from crossplay being on Game Pass. They stand to make a lot of money from that. And it's important to consider the fact that PlayStation is probably going to outsell the Xbox. And then if you have Game Pass on PlayStation, then PlayStation is the place to go for
Xbox Game Pass.
Everything except for Mario and Pokemon.
But that's a really good point, because market experts pretty much, I think it was like 2 days ago, pretty much said that like they expect PlayStation to sell this year 2 to 1 to the Xbox. And you're right. I don't think this is necessarily going to change that as much, like change the fact that, you know, PlayStation is probably still going to be the number one seller, but like Xbox Game Pass is on the PC as well. Like, we need to stop talking about
PC
like
Game Pass.
That's the thing. Like, we need to stop talking about what constitutes, you know, Xbox versus PlayStation in more terms of like, where is Game Pass? How many people are subscribing to that? Because that is what's really competing with Sony, or at least that's what it feels like, or at least that's the metric we should be looking at with Microsoft, rather than specifically how many consoles they've sold.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think this acquisition has forced Sony to change anything about what they were going to release with their Spartacus Game Pass?
I don't think it has. I think I don't know if you saw their tweets the other day. They did seem to properly shit themselves. Like someone came out and said, we have agreement. That's why Phil Spencer put that tweet up, because like, we have agreements about Call of Duty. They better be fulfilled. Which is just totally, you could see them panicking. And hydrate. Thank you. I don't know which one of you is which, but Full House 159, we will hydrate. There we are. But yeah, the only thing I will say, and like counter to pretty much everything we've said, is, like I said, as someone that owns all the consoles, I don't have an issue. The only thing I don't like, I don't want this to be like the next thing that keeps happening, where studios keep getting bought up until like we basically have not so much no studios. But I don't know. I just feel slightly uncomfortable about it, because we now know that Microsoft could essentially buy every single company, and I'm not worried about Phil Spencer. That's the thing. I'm not worried about him.
The people above him,
or the people after him. You know, when he when he leaves, like, we don't know who's going to replace him. Who could be like, no, we need to make more money, and this means that we're stopping these people. Yeah, and it's like, I trust Phil Spencer. I do. because of the things that he's done, the things that he said. And there's a part of me that loves, like, a couple of weeks ago, is like, yeah, we have to sort out what happens at Activision because it's not good what's happening at their board level. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to buy the board out and just buy the companies. So, like, that is kind of funny. But I just feel slightly uneasy, and I hope this is the last of the big buyouts because, I don't know, it just feels like we might end up going down like that Disney route where they just buy up everything, and if you don't have it, then you might not get it. I don't know. I feel slightly uneasy about it.
It's odd. I see what you mean, but like if you think about Disney Plus, right? I think it is the premium, the premier streaming service.
It is. Yeah. And it's cheaper cheaper than Netflix.
Yeah, and Netflix has 225 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Like they can both succeed.
Yeah.
But they both need to be trying hard to compete, which is, this basis of capitalism, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, PlayStation need to pull their finger out their ass.
Yeah.
And their Game Pass needs to be good. Needs to be... I don't understand a position where PlayStation wouldn't have brand new games on their PlayStation Game Pass, at least, like, within a very short time frame.
Yeah, I think that their hand might have to be forced now.
Yeah.
That's what Phil Spencer said, actually.
Yeah, and, this is good because PlayStation, they price themselves at a premium and they don't let you skirt around that, Like games are 70 quid on PlayStation.
They are, it's ridiculous.
I've not seen a game that isn't published by EA for 70 quid on Xbox.
Well, and that is the thing as well. Like, I've played 3 brand new Xbox games this last year, like within the last year, and I've just been buying Game Pass and I've been able to play them. Whereas I think I've bought 1 PlayStation 5 game, like brand new, and I'm not even sure what it was. I bought Hitman 3 for it was on discount. Deathloop, and that was a present for and that was a present, and also that was discounted. That was 40 quid from Curry's, which was reduced for some reason. But yeah, should we move on because I think we can talk about this all day. But I mean, as like we said at the end of the day, we are fine, I guess. We got lots of games to play. So
yeah, and just to reply to Bondos, do you think Xbox will make a new console the next gen? Personally, I do. I think they've got no reason to stop producing Xboxes. They have long said now that they're not considering themselves in a race with PlayStation.
Yeah.
I mean, for good reason, because they just got destroyed in the previous gen. But I think what we're going to see is iterative boxes of Series X2, Series S2, X3, S2, S3. And what we'll probably see is just a massive leaning on Game Pass over the Xbox systems themselves.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, like I said, I think we said that earlier. The metric is going to be on Game Pass rather than the consoles, but they'll still bring them out, I think.
Absolutely. Game Pass is going to be on TVs.
Oh god, yeah, it's only a matter of time now.
Yeah, they're going to be streamed. They found a way to stream the games at a decent quality. It's going to be on TVs. It's going to be everywhere.
Yes.
So they don't need to make Xboxes, but they sell enough of them that it's a worthy investment into that corner of the market.
Yeah, big time.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on. We're gonna talk about because I don't think there's any more we can really say about that. I mean. It's kind of exciting in a sense to see what Microsoft do, but we'll have to just wait and see because I don't think things aren't going to play out for a number of years now, so we'll just have to wait and see. Let's talk about Nintendo. I mean, it feels really funny to go from talking about a $67 billion acquisition to talking about Banjo-Kazooie being on the Switch.
Hey, it's another Xbox story.
Banjo-Kazooie's on Switch! And apparently, this is the best bit. It doesn't run like shit. Which is good. Apparently, they've patched a lot of their games on Nintendo Online, so that's good.
That is good.
Tying in with that as well, because we'll kind of speak to the rest of these stories. Nintendo also confirmed that The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask will be the next N64 game to hit Nintendo Online. That will be in February. When did Banjo come out? Was it last week? So
20th.
Okay, so yeah. So say maybe the 3rd week of February we'd expect it if they're doing it on month-by-month basis. But that's really cool because I do have Majora's Mask, but only on my N64. And it's very different to the 3DS version. There's many things that they changed, so I'm excited to see if it holds up, how it plays. Final bit of news, and I don't know if you've seen this, Dav, but the Star Wars Skywalker saga has finally got a release date, and it looks awesome.
It does, and it does look awesome.
It does look awesome.
It is a shame what bastards run that company.
Yes, that is the sad thing, because the news that has come out from how badly everyone's been crunching for like a year or longer, it seems, is ridiculous.
Like some of the stories are ridiculous. Like one employee going to the car and then getting chased down into the car park by one of their bosses, screaming at them about loyalty and like, do they even care about the cause? Like, what do you mean the cause?
Yeah,
it isn't a cult. It's just a job.
Yeah,
you're making a bloody video game, a Lego video game.
Yeah, I mean that is the peak of video gaming, to be fair. But like, to be fair, at the same time, I've been reading. I've been saying this for a while. I've been reading Jason Schreier's Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, which is basically what is talking about this. And I've been reading chapter by chapter, so I've been taking my time because it's been really busy in work and stuff. And he's been saying pretty much this: like some companies will crunch, and everyone thinks it's a good thing. Where some companies will crunch, and it's like genuinely people sleeping in their cars, working 18 hours a day, going home for 4 hours, having food, and then coming back. It's not good. It's really not good
for video games.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm obsessed with the media form.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, guys, take a break.
It does. I think it does really bring into for me. When you see how long it takes to make a film, 2 years. That's a long time to make a film. And you see 2 years in a game, like it's nothing. There's crunch. If it's a 2 year game, if it's a AAA game, it's crunch. If it's not a AAA game, then maybe there is no crunch, but it's a much smaller game. I mean, look at something like Silksong. Yeah. Like that was announced 2 years ago, and
at least
that's a platforming game. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it should.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it should be taking a specific amount of time, but the fact that it's taken longer than 2 years makes you think games are taking much longer than we think, and we need to accept and embrace that. Anyway, on that kind of weirdly sad, but I don't know. Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna get the Skywalker saga?
Not day one, but I do want to get it. And I want to support the developers that have been through hell.
Yes.
In making that game, you know.
Yeah, because
and the whole strive for 85 thing, it's their mantra, and apparently this bullshit's been going on since 2005.
Yes.
Since the first Lego Star Wars games, and so hopefully shedding a light on it will change things, or at least give the employees the freedom to want to move away, go somewhere else where they're respected.
Do you know the 85 Metacritic thing?
Yeah,
that happened to Obsidian when they made Fallout New Vegas, and they were told they'd get a £1 million bonus, and they had an 84, and they did not get that bonus. And it's like, these are arbitrary numbers. These are numbers people are making up. Someone could just give it a 5 just because they don't like the fact it's set in Vegas, for crying out loud. It's just ridiculous. But it's mad. It's absolutely mad. Anyway, that's it with the news. We're done with the news. Do you want to talk about a game you've been playing, Dab? I've only got one, and I've only just started it, so I can't really talk about it too much. Yeah. Or do you want me to talk about the one?
Yeah, go on.
I'll mention it briefly. I've been playing Time Splitters 2.
Wow.
It's on. It was on Xbox for £2, and I remember having that on my GameCube many moons ago, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy it because I know it's the same guys that make GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. Oh, a lot of the same guys that make GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. They started their own company, and it does play like Golden. Honestly, sometimes the music is basically, I don't know, like GoldenEye. GoldenEye's like uncut bits. It's mad, but it's aged okay. It's aged okay. Like, it is a 20-year-old game, and it's a first-person shooter, and those games infamously 20 years ago were not particularly great.
Yeah.
But it's okay, and I'm going to persevere probably until Horizon comes out, because I'm not going to get Pokemon. You are getting Pokemon, I believe.
I am getting Pokemon,
in 4 days?
Yeah.
Oh, God. This means by next Monday, you might even say something about it.
Oh, I'm excited.
But yeah, that's all I'm really going to say about Time Splitters 2, because I've been really busy. So, yeah. What games have you been playing?
I've been playing Mario Tennis on the N64 emulator on the Switch.
Amazing.
having a lot of fun. It has some flaws. It's very basic, but it's fun. It still holds up. So, what else? And then Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought I was going to finish it today before the podcast, and you've played through it, haven't you?
I've completed it, yeah.
So I had neglected one of the main. There's two main quest lines. I'd neglected the one about the people, and I was more interested in the world and stuff.
The people, yeah.
And I'm now at a point where I've done all that sort of stuff and everything about the Alpha Protocol and the Apollo stuff. I'm trying to not say too much, but I think they're just bland words anyway. And
the game's 5 years old as well, man. I think you're good. I think you're good.
But with the sequel coming out next month,
that's actually maybe a good point. Yeah, maybe a good point.
But now it's got to the point where like, oh, you can't progress because the people that you would need to help you in this moment are too distracted by this other thing. So now you've got to go and do these other. I think it's 4 quests before you can get there. I'm like, oh, come on, why you gotta, like. I hate it when a game just hamstrings you right at the end. Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm feeling this progress. I'm going to get there. Right, this is the last thing. I've got to go and defeat the main boss of the whole thing. Yeah. It's like, no. You've got to go and toil about all these little things that people are caring about. Oh, my sister's missing. Oh, go save her. Like, I don't care about your sister. I've got to save the world. Do you mind?
If she was careful, she'd have saved herself.
Exactly. Thank you. Let's blame her. But I guess I'm enjoying it. I am underleveled because I've just stopped doing anything except for mainlining and going straight for the main quest. Quest. And yes, I don't know if I'm enjoying the combat. The combat's serviceable.
I agree. That's how I felt when I played the game.
I like the stealth. It is satisfying to kill people and machines during stealth.
She controls and moves way better than I think she fights, is how I saw it.
Yeah, for sure. And it does just feel like a 5-year-old game. I'm playing it and I'm like, I looked at the Metacritic and it got like an 87.
It did, yeah.
And I'm like, what about this game is an 87? It just feels like just a AAA open world RPG. Another open world RPG. Yeah. With a lot of flaws, in my opinion.
Yeah. A
lot of flaws. And you can you're like, everyone was like, oh my god, the guys who made Killzone Shadowfall made this? I'm like, yeah, they did. The faces are atrocious. The voice acting is dreadful. And they've got good voice actors.
Yeah,
the sound
they do.
Design is... Yeah. The sound design is nice, but the sound production for the voice lines is really weird. The graphics are really nice, actually. The world just all kind of looks the same. And I don't know. Don't know how I feel about this game. Yeah. Maybe I would give it an 8 maximum, but probably less.
I think Zach said that. Felt the same, didn't he? He felt. I think I definitely liked it more than you and Zach. Like I know that because I did enjoy it, but I also like when Zach was saying last week when he got to the last 5 hours and he just sped through it. I definitely remembered doing the same. I remember I got to a point where I was like, this should have ended 5 hours ago. And I do like, this is the thing. Some things don't need, I'm not saying that it needed to be a linear game, but I think it might have benefited from being a bit more linear.
Yeah, the map. Just take about 30% of the map.
It's huge.
And it's full of bogus icons that mean absolutely nothing. It's like, I don't care where a certain machine is located at. Yeah, I know you're supposed to do it for parts, but I think there's too much of a reliance on crafting. And I think that the abilities you learn are rubbish.
I kind of, honestly, the weird thing is that I'm still really, really, really hyped for the next game. I am super hyped for it, but...
Yeah, and I probably will play through the Frozen Wilds expansion. There's enough going on in the world of it and the backstory that I really do care. And I am invested in that, but it is a chore. It's a bit of a chore at times. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to finishing it and then cracking on with Halo Infinite and Pokemon.
Are you going to play them both simultaneously, or are you going to...
I tend to have one game for each system on the go at any time. Okay. So at the moment, it's Horizon... actually, I've just finished the Season Pass for Halo Infinite's multiplayer, so it'll be the Halo Infinite campaign. And then I'm chipping away at Dragon Quest.
Oh,
11
nice.
over time.
God.
Probably won't finish it for about 4 years. But
Yeah. It's weird. Like I'm kind of gutted, kind of not gutted in a way, I guess. But I bought Death's Door on the Switch because it was on sale for like £9 like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, wicked! And now it's on Game Pass. I'm like, but then again, I feel like that's the type of game that I would probably prefer to play on Switch anyway, because I don't think I'm going to lose much playing that on the Switch. So I am very tempted to start that, because if my next game is going to be Horizon and I've got a lot more free time from next week, I'll probably start that next week. So maybe that's what I'll talk about next week. But yeah, anything else, Daf?
No, I'm excited for Pokemon.
Yeah. I feel, again, confliction is me this week. I feel very conflicted about it. I might get it. I'm gonna wait for reviews. I'm gonna wait for like maybe, I don't know, long plays. I might even watch, if you're streaming it, I might even jump in on a couple of your streams when you start.
I'll definitely be streaming it,
because I think I want to see what the game is like first before I consider getting it. I think I'll be honest, I don't think I'm gonna get it, but I could be persuaded to, if that makes sense. Because
you've not been much of a Pokemon boy in the past, have you?
I used to love it, man. I used to love it, but. And I even got Pokemon Let's Go, and I enjoyed that.
Nice.
Pokemon.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, it's fine. It was fine. It was. But I guess with that game as well, it's basically Red, and that was the only Pokemon game I've ever played.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's it then. Let's leave it there, because I don't think we got anything else to talk about.
I'll be streaming.
Are you streaming now?
Yes, I'll set up that raid.
Lovely.
You sign us off.
I'll sign us off with the goodbyes. That is the end. This is the end. Podcast 83, my friends. Thank you for listening today. These. Yeah. If you enjoyed the show, then please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio. We love the iHeartRadio.
We love it.
Amazon do podcasts, Google Podcasts. Any of the podcast providers that you like, then we also like, because we're probably on there. And if we're not on there, then write to us and tell us that we're not, because it is only the click of a button, and we must be everywhere. It's probably to do with my laziness more than anything else. So please let us know if we're not on there. Like I said, we probably should be doing we've missed probably about 3 or 4 Hall of Fame episodes. And we were supposed to do a cheeky one, a spicy episode.
Yeah, a bit of a spicy one, yeah.
But we just haven't had the time, and we need the whole gang, and it's been quite tough getting all 4 of us together recently. So when we've all got a bit more spare time, we'll try and get us all together and do a Hall of Fame, because those are always a banging. Get it together, Jonny. I'm sorry, ACP. I have let you down. I don't know what to say. But Davy G, looks like Davy G's off. He's going to go raid. He's going to go raid and play his game. I'm going to leave it there. But I'm going to say goodbye. Oh, nice, man. I love that game. Thanks again, man. It was lovely talking to you about all things gaming. And thank you to everyone that came to say hello. Thank you. We love you. And maybe we'll see you next week. Let's leave it there. Bye, everyone.
Bye.